Okay, so that is how the substitution method works. For the elimination method, let me write our two equations. So for the elimination, your equation should be written in this form, where you have your x and y on one side and your constant on the right side, or vice versa. In order for the elimination to work, you're going to pick a variable. You want to make sure they have opposite signs, like the y's here. This is positive, this is negative. And the coefficients in front of the variable have to be the same. So in this case, you have a +1 and a -1. If that's the case, then we can just add the two equations. So x plus x is 2x, y plus negative y is 0, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So divide by 2, so x is 3. Once you have an answer for one of the variables, then we back substitute as we did in the substitution method. And you can pick any of the equations. So x here we found out is 3. Subtract 3 on both sides, so y is going to be equal to 1. So our solution is x is 3 and y is 1. So notice we get the same solution as this method. And so it's going to be up to you to decide which method you prefer. I myself usually use depending on how the system is written. So in the next example, you can see what I mean by that. So we said we have solved the system using any method, and I'm going to go ahead and use both methods just so that we can get familiar with both first, and then later I'll start using just one or the other. So for the first one, I'm going to use substitution. Okay, so we use the elimination addition method, then it would look something like this. So first you pick a variable, so we can choose x or we can choose y. So I'm going to go ahead and choose x. So if I wanted to choose x, then here we would have, let me write the equation. I need to multiply this equation by 5. So here I get 5x. Let's multiply it by -5. So we get -5x plus 5y is equal to -20. Then the second one would be 5x minus 3y is equal to 6. Notice that now I have the same number with different signs, so same coefficient, opposite signs. So if I add these, I get 2y is equal to -14. Divide by 2, so y is equal to -7. And so then we would back substitute as we did with the substitution method. So our solution would be -3 and -7. Okay, so let's try example 5. You can use any method. So when the equations are set up like this, I like to use the elimination method. So here, notice that I have a 5 and a -10. So if I want to eliminate the x's, I would have to make this 5x become a positive 10x. So I'm going to do that first. So in order to do that, I would have to multiply this entire equation by 2. So I get 10x minus 4y is equal to 8. So now I can use that equation and the second equation. And so if I add these, this is 0, this is 0, and 15. So 0 is equal to 15. We know that's not true, okay? So what we say is this is not a true statement. So what that means is that there's no solution. So if we were to graph these lines, basically there would be two lines that are parallel and it will never intersect. So they will either be going like this or they will be going the opposite direction, but they'll never intersect.